It does not rain in Israel for 3 years. God proclaims Elijah to go and present himself to King Ahab and he will send rain. King Ahab comes to meet Elijah. Elijah tells him that it is going to rain heavily very soon. He climbs to Mount Carmel and what he does is very specific. He bows down on the ground with his head in between his knees. He sends his servant to see whether there is any sign of rain. The servant comes and tells that there is nothing, no sign of rain. This repeats for 6 times and there is no sign of rain. But on the 7th time, a cloud the size of a man's hand rises from the sea to the sky. So the servant comes and tells him that it is this that is happening on the sky. So on hearing this, Elijah declares to the king Ahab that it is going to rain so heavily and go rush to your palace before the rain will stop you. This is a very short passage, yet wonderful passage with wonderful lessons to learn. So what are all the lessons that we can learn from this? Let us examine. First thing is the importance of prayer and perseverance. It is important to see that when trouble came, when there was difficulty, when there was difficult circumstance, Elijah turned to prayer to God. It is not only that he turned to God in prayer, he kept on praying. That is perseverance. What happened? 6 times he prayed, nothing happened. In fact, it was God who proclaimed that he is going to send rain. So it is kind of such a shame on him that every time he sends the servant for rain, but no sign of rain. Yet he kept on praying. What if he would have stopped after the 6th time? He would not have been able to see the wonderful thing that God has done. So like that, we also should never quit while we wait for the Lord to act. While we wait for something miraculous thing to happen in our lives, we should never quit until we see that wonderful moment. That's how our faith should take us. Our faith should keep us going. It is very important to persevere. We should never quit. The second lesson to learn from this is from the posture of Elijah. This is how Elijah was. This is how Elijah was praying. This is taken from internet. In fact, we can see that he has immersed his head in between his knees. He sends his servant and he does not check out what is happening around him. This is the crux of the story. He takes his eyes from the circumstance or whatever situations was there controlling that rainfall. He just took his eyes from that. He just kept or fixed his eyes on the Lord. He did not see whether the sun is receding or clouds are forming or nothing. His eyes was always fixed on the God. Like this, we also should take our eyes from the situations or the circumstances that is crooning us. If we fix our eyes on the circumstances, our troubles, our financial problems, our relationship problems, the reports of the doctors, we will see that trouble increase and increase. Instead of that, if we fix our eyes on the Lord, on the promises of God, we see that the problems will become smaller and smaller because our God is such a big God. This is very important. Take your eyes off from our current situation and let us fix our eyes on the God. The third thing is having expectation. While we wait for our Lord for something, whatever you want in your life, we should have expectation. We have to expect and we have to have that assurance that God is going to do that. It is His will that His children are happy, they are blessed. So whatever He wants, or whatever you want from your life, you have to say or see that it is going to happen. We have to fix our eyes on the God and we have to have that assurance that what God has promised, He will do that. Elijah was also like that. He was expectant. That's why even if 1 or 2 or 3rd or 4th time also, or 6th time also he failed, he went back or he kept on doing what he was doing until it materialized. Very important. Have expectancy. Fourth, I would name that as the cloud the size of a man's hand. At a time when there was no rain for 3 years, just by saying a tiny cloud, Elijah proclaimed that it is going to rain. It is a very insignificant sign given the condition of a drought of 3 years. But he did not wait for that cloud to become so big or that cloud to become darker or even a few raindrops to fall on his hand or body to confirm that it is going to rain. Instead of that, he had that assurance that it is the promise of God and it will happen. By just seeing that small sign, he believed and he confirmed that it is going to happen. Like this, it is very we have to always think or believe that when we wait on for something, when we are waiting for something to happen in our life, our situation, God will help us by sending these small signs and wonders. He is a wonderful, loving God. He will never keep disappointing us. He will keep on sending you small signs in order to keep you going, in order to keep your faith increase, in order to keep your confidence increase. Let us open our spiritual eyes to see these small signs.